Welcome everybody. Hope everybody is keeping safe and well. Slightly strange times to be doing these events, and I think we thought last year in April this would be a 2 or 3 month thing, and 1.5 year, 1 year and 2 months later, we are still suffering from this dreaded disease. So anyway, hope everybody is keeping safe and healthy. And what will be good is if rather than me trying to do a bad job of introducing all of you, just like all of you to just maybe do a 1 minute introduction about yourself. So Vineet, starting with you, and then I'll come to Sagar, and as I see people on the screen. So Vineet, over to you.
So I run these group of restaurants called FIO. We started with Garden of Five Senses, and we are now, we have an urban take to the country setting from Garden of Five Senses at Epicuria called FIO Cookhouse and Bar. And from here onwards, we've gone to the next model, which is called the FIO Pop. It's freshly opened at the DLF Avenue, Saket. That's our new model, absolutely focused around food. My history goes about 40 years in the industry, having opened Bukharas in US, having brought Wimpy to India, having worked in the industry. And we also have a catering vertical by name of Cuisines and Concepts. I have the next generation. That's my two daughters who are taking over. And rest is, of course, times are very trying, and we're going through a lot in the family right now. My older daughter is down, and so is a lot of my staff. I'm struggling to get beds and oxygen, so quite off the radar right now.
Thanks, Vineet. Thank you, Vineet. Tough times, I know, and that's why I said almost a surreal to try and do this event. So you got a lot of noise. So whoever is not speaking, just request you to go on mute. So I just ask maybe just one second. Pushpa, do you want to do a quick introduction for yourself as well, please?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Rajat. Well, I'm the executive director for retail for DLF. And, DLF has got over 4 million square feet of retail space, in which we have over 200 restaurants operating. And these restaurants have been mainly, curated by local entrepreneurs. So it's really heartbreaking to see how entrepreneurial efforts are going through quite a trying time at this point in time for the F&B industry. It's been a year and a half for them of sheer struggle. Well, we in DLF have done our best to support the industry. And the first year, what we did is we gave them a certain program which helped them stand on their feet and, start doing good business. And I must say by Q4, they had all come up to around 70 to 80% of previous levels. Of course, the second wave is quite bad. And one is hoping that life is safe, because many of my restaurant partners have issues with their staff, with their families, as we do with the retail fraternity. So now the time is really to get together to ensure everyone's health and safety, post which we'll need to really look at how to handle this new wave and really get on to the street to see how we can get the consumer confidence back.
So Raghavendra, coming to you here, please, if you can do a brief intro as well.
So I'm the brand owner for Thanco's Natural Ice Creams, and we have got near to 100 outlets across India. And business was pretty good this pre-pandemic, but this pandemic has really getting us to deep trouble kind of a thing. So during the first COVID time, so we found there is some government help is coming and stabilizing in sense of the way the banking has supported us, and even the government was a bit lenient on the GST initially, but not going ahead. So, but during the second wave, I see that the government is totally mute on everything actually, in sense of not giving a very clear signals on how to handle the post-pandemic situation. So, like how to bounce back in sense of, it is a really big puzzles. So, like as for the business growth, business is, I can say it has been totally crashed. It's like we're not doing anything kind of thing. That's the situation. we're used to do in multi-crores and doing nothing, something like we're in the square one. But the situation around is very horrible. Mm, now the thing is like, how to bounce back is the question, and we and the franchisees already get together maybe once in every week or once in every 10 days, and we brainstorm ourselves. We came up with a good idea of onlining sales and everything. Like, but whatever we do, but the things are not really good actually. But nevertheless,
Sure.
like
But I'm just sorry to interrupt. We'll catch up on these points. The idea was just for you to do an intro, get everybody to do it, and then this is one of the points we will talk about, the whole journey back, rebuilding the business back. So let me get everybody else to just do an intro as well, so that we can get everybody on. Yeah. Thank you. I'll come back to you on this point. Clearly, this is one of the main points that we will discuss: the bounce back, the journey back. What does it look like? What models are likely to work? So, Pushpa, maybe if you can just talk about the way back. I mean, you're running one of the largest malls. You've also set up this lovely food avenue in the new mall. I've had a pleasure to go there a few times. Outstanding space. And now you see all this, everything hits like a roadblock, and we are back to almost, square one. So just your thoughts on what does the reopening look like? What is the, what is this whole journey back? What are the safety protocols? How do you re-win the faith of consumers again?
So, as I told you, when we started in June last year, we had come up with some of the best safety protocols. Now, these safety protocols meant that we lost business. We had to turn away business. As you know, food and beverage is a perishable commodity and a peak utilization space. So we would be very stringent, and we would only allow 50% of seating. And we also took care for food and beverage. We tied up with CGS to do a COVID audit, and only those restaurants would be allowed to open post the CGS audit being cleared. And what it did is that it meant that the kitchen safety protocols were stringent, and that gave a lot of confidence to consumers. I must say, we also tried contactless dining through our Lookout app, and that didn't find too much of a credence because consumers felt more safe just linking off the barcode at the menu wherever they're sitting and ordering their food. So they didn't want to really go through the Lookout app. So there were certain learnings for us, but overall what we did feel from a consumer point of view is the lesser surfaces they touched, the better. B, they also want to know staff safety, the staff on duty. Are they COVID free? So we had insisted many of the restaurant operators at Cyber Hub especially to put out every shift a little tent card saying the kitchen staff currently in the kitchen are 100% COVID free and tested. So I think these sort of protocols will become a way of life for the next year or so, even after the second wave ebbs down, because we know that as the second wave ebbs down, there is going to be a third wave sooner or later, 90 days to 100 days. So I think what's important from a consumer point of view, especially when they come back this time, is that we have to appreciate that they will be extremely traumatized. They would have lost someone. So that feeling of empathy, the feeling of warmth, and the feeling of safety, all three have to go hand in hand. So we do intend to reach out to our restaurant partners soon as the real crisis ebbs down and we are ready to open our spaces back again to see how we can ensure that we get the customers to feel that here is a warm space, a space that they can feel safe. And yes, it's not going to be easy because frankly, I don't think Delhi has seen such trauma in decades. And this is, it's going to take a good 2 to 3 months before customers feel safer to sort of eat out. We are all, of course, communal people, and we do think that people would like to come out and really, have a good time with families. But we have to be extremely sensitive about the situation they have been through. That's one. The second is, apart from safety protocols, I would also like to say that if customers start feeling that the mall is being responsible in only allowing a few people at a time, like we have a protocol of, one person per 6 square meter. We actually shut malls like Mall of India. We have shut it during peak times on a Saturday evening or Sunday. ensuring that the people inside are safe. More importantly, this virus is such that clean air becomes an important element. We are doing a lot of work now to see what are the kind of filters that we can place in our air conditioning systems, which will further get the virus free. Last year, we were really looking at how do we reduce pollution. This time, we have to look at reducing both pollution and the virus through filters. So these are the varied programs that we will embark into to ensure that customers feel safer inside a DLF property.
Perfect, Pushpa. Thanks so much. And I guess it's, for you guys, it's almost a sense of deja vu, right? We did it all. Everything is back to normal. The last we touched base, you were saying footfalls are back at 80, 90%. People have visited the stores again. And it's very tragic. But I think this is just one of those tragic situations globally, right? So, Vineet, I'll come to you. And I guess, Pushpa, the positive side is that I was on another panel last week with the couple of insurance company CEOs. And one of the interesting points he made is that he says that immediately after a crisis, insurance premiums and everybody peaks. Within 30 days to 60 days, they see it come back to almost normal, and human beings go back to previous behavior. They've seen it in the biggest calamities, biggest challenges. So human behavior peaks after every incident. So 30 days, you will see a huge impact. But then I think our memories are short. We are programmed also to hopefully put this behind. So hopefully, it'll be shorter than 3 months.
Yes.
Vineet, I'll come to you. You're a stalwart in the industry. You talked a lot about the different businesses you brought to India, started here, started globally as well. Your thoughts on the way back from here? What happens next? How do we sort of build this up from a from a business point of view? And what are some of the things you are going to do to bring back the confidence and bring back the business?
It's been a lot of learning in the last 14 months. I feel that one thing, of course, very obviously surfacing up is the delivery element, but it doesn't really sustain us commercially. That's what I feel. Though overall, after the retail business returned back in the months of Jan, Feb, and March, we felt that the fear of another wave and with unpredictable lockdowns, delivery is definitely the future for most of the brands. May it be in fine dining or casual or QSRs, but definitely I think delivery is the way forward for at least 15 to 20% of the sales. Also, there's a tremendous amount of fear of venturing into indoor spaces. Now, that's the biggest crisis because, as Pushpaji said, that DLF Avenue was constructed on the concept of a very warm and a very vibey place with lots of crowds and spillovers and all that, whereas the times today dictate absolutely the reverse of that. So there is going to be an antithesis of sort and some collective thinking that we'll have to get into to get out of those corners that we've all got into. Most of the food-centric places are indoors. I run great outdoor spaces, and there is definitely a tremendous, popularity for the outdoor spaces. But I feel that the true food-centric places, which are, the palatable sort of places, are all indoors. And the packagings recently have convinced the customer of great hygiene and correct temperatures at which it is being delivered. So I think the delivery element is gaining confidence both with the consumer and with us, of course. Another thing, I feel that the IT has advanced by leaps and bounds in this lockdown era. Brought in a big convenience to the consumers. And, initially, I think we were all prepared for the dine-in with this QR contactless dining. But the IT has brought in a lot of portals and a lot of way forward for a direct to the restaurant rather than through the aggregators, because I think there was a lot of anti-popularity. I mean, with portals like Zomato's and Swiggy's, because we lose about 25-30% of the revenue. So direct of customer to the unit, the newer concepts are coming up. Another thing that we've all learned to do is, deconstruct our food, or the DIY kits that we've popularized. They have made eating fresh and customized to individual likings a big thing. Home entertaining in the future is the way forward. Especially, I think immediately after this second wave, there is going to be the bubble group again, dining in each other's houses. So great takeaway possibilities there. And right now, with the hundreds and thousands of dark kitchens that have cropped up, they definitely have a commercially viable future because of the absolute low overheads compared to restaurants and fine dinings. So somehow
Sure.
the restaurant and fine dinings have to, find way to exist with lower overheads. So there, a lot of, cooperation will be required between the landlords and us, and I don't think the consumers are any longer going to be the deep pocket consumers. So I feel that the first thing is about cashing in on delivery, and I feel that's the way forward. Also, of course, the safety protocols that have are the prime consideration with every customer. But in the recent, this dictum has become so clear with the staff, especially, that now there is hardly a training required. I'm actually so surprised to see that top to bottom, that how each and every person is conscious in the hospitality. They're a very disciplined force. That's one thing that should get recognized in the media, that how this industry has taken the dictum of sanitization and safety protocols to the T, unlike a few other industries, which I would not like to mention.
Sure, sure. So, Vineet, let me just go to a few other people, and I think those are great
Yeah, sure.
points. The challenge is always going to be that, for fine dining, you can never create the atmosphere at home, right? I can order the best stuff in the nicest packaged stuff, but I can never experience that. So, my desire as a consumer is still to come out to your restaurant and visit you and experience the whole thing there, right? Where you can, showcase the cooking
That
and the
we've
service.
spent our
But
entire lives for that. We've spent our entire lives for that. But
absolutely.
there are new learnings, absolutely.
Sure. Sagar, maybe you can just talk a bit about your business, what you guys do, and then if also just talk a bit about what your journey back is like from in a QSR and fine dining space.
Well, we run two restaurant chains called Wow Momo and Wow China with over 400 outlets across the city. Ours has been one of the Make in India homegrown QSR startups in the country. And I guess one of the only profitable QSR chains, with more than 100 outlets, and none of them are franchise. It's all company owned, company operated. So, when April 2020 came last year, after 12 years of running this business profitably from rupees 30,000 to getting to a 300 crore top line, business just crashed, and with 3,000 plus employees, we just got to 1/10 of our business. But like they say, adverse time calls for being diverse, calls for being resilient. I think we had to ante up our delivery, and we began doing from 1 lakh deliveries a month. We went up to almost 3 lakhs, and in the month of December, we reached 5 lakh deliveries a month with Swiggy and Zomato. And again comes the second wave, which has again crashed business by 50%. So it's like taking one step forward and coming back by two steps. We actually got back to profits operationally in December after 8 months of losses. And now it is not about work from home or about delivery. It's more about work for home, because we all are trying to save our near and dear ones. We all are trying to save our employees. And our employees are a part of our family. I mean, I myself have come out through a great COVID phase where my dad was admitted to the hospital. My co-founder lost his dad. So it's been quite bad. This COVID second wave has been really bad. But again, as you say, the show has to go on. I think we are in the hospitality business, we are in the service business, and the consumer wants convenience. There are so many people out there who cannot cook daily food. There are so many bachelors, so many people staying in guest houses, in paying guests, and they require food to be delivered every day. So we are in that essential food service business. And the effect has been
So a
quite.
lot of the part-time staff is not coming as well, right? People have done away with part-time staff, so cooking and all is all gone, right? The cooking facilities at home are also gone. The help.
Absolutely. And one more thing that we are doing, I'm a part of the NRAI, the National Restaurant Association of India. There are many elderly people who have COVID, across the city, and they don't have servants because they have COVID, and the servants cannot come home and they cannot cook food because they are weak. So the NRAI has opened up its kitchen to serve people to these elderly people, and this is completely a CSR initiative from us. We're not even charging them. But we are all trying to come together and pull in whatever way we can, because I think these tough times, it's for all of us to come together and stand up for the country. And food being a very essential part of our daily lives, I think we've all just gone there, tried to do our best and trying to keep survival, holding fort, and I'm sure we will bounce back. I mean, this is the way we bounced back in the last phase.
But thanks so much, Sagar. That's very encouraging, very positive, great stuff you guys are doing. You and Vineet, great examples of trying to revive the business again. So let's hear your views. I mean, you already had talked a lot about how your business came to almost nothing from such a strong business, and just anyway, ice cream is being a seasonal business as well. So just talk a bit about how you are coping with this. What are your thoughts about how does the business come back? What happens to your 100 outlets, just some thoughts around that.
Yeah, Rajat. So, it was one of the surprise, when COVID hit us. So suddenly the government announced that, so there's a 14 days lockdown, and literally we saw that for 2 months it was a complete lockdown actually. And it was a big challenge to us because most of our outlets run on walk-ins, and say around 80% walk-ins and 20% are on the online sales actually. And it was a big crash, as even Sagar mentioned that most of his outlets are run by his own. But luckily, in my case, actually, it was run by the franchisee. But however, the trouble of franchisees, it's a trouble of me also. Somehow, actually, we got over with the first wave and we cribbed up within the December, and we were doing good. We were almost back to 80% of the pre-COVID business. But once again, this second wave stuck up actually. So the problem with the first wave and second wave is already we have faced a lot of issue in sense of the owners asking for the rents and not cooperative, and even the government says that it's a lookout between you and the owner, and there in the first wave there was a bit support from the government in sense of some MSME schemes tying up with the banks and everything. But in the second wave, nothing is there. Second wave, there's no support from the government. Second wave, there's no support from the say banking sector, or there is no support from the GSTs or whatever we have to file. That's it actually. I think we'll be in the big challenge area right now, and thinking so without not depending on much of the government or the setups. We have to challenge ourselves and we have to face the market. And I think it will be a big challenge than the wave one actually. And if you see the wave two, so it is much more higher in comparison with the wave one actually. So the pandemic has spread a lot, and in fact, my whole family even stuck up with the COVID, and thank God. So we were just in a home quarantine, and we bounced back strong without much of the hassle in going off the hospital or going into the ICU or whatever it is. But having said so, now it was earlier we used to say "Arey yaar, unko aaya tha, isko aaya tha, idhar aaya tha." Now it has saying that "mere ko bhi aaya tha," kind of a thing. So it's the same.
Everybody's impacted.
Everything is impacted. Now the thing is now bouncing back is big challenge this time, especially because government itself is puzzled totally. They doesn't know what has to be done, how it has to be done, how it has to be tackled. It is something like the fittest will survive. Will be the situation this time actually. And hope all the entrepreneurs and the small businesses can really bounce back this thing. And hopefully there is no third wave, because I don't know, there'll be third wave because the vaccination drive is going strong in all the states, and hopefully there'll be no third wave as such. If there is no third wave, I think in a year or so we should be able to bounce back to the pre-COVID level. If the third wave comes and the government behaves as it is behaving right now, So it will be difficult for all the major the small businesses to overcome this impact and grow in the market. Actually, yes. So having been
Thanks, Raghav. Yeah, I know it's very tricky situation. I mean, I don't know how companies are going to cope with it, especially people who are dependent on, on who are just expanding and starting their businesses or reopening, especially after last round. So I'll come back to you, Raghav, on some more thoughts on some new models that you may be looking at. So I'll come back to Pushpa, to you then. Where do you see businesses moving? Then you've got, you said 200 brands of restaurants across your malls. What are the new models that you can think of? Of course, home delivery is there. That's seeing a lot of growth. All the online, the food tech companies have done exceptionally well. The impending sort of, of IPO of Zomato also is looming, around the corner. So, any thoughts around new models that you're seeing companies think of as they reopen now?
Well, I think, let's speak about in the malls business, the restaurants which are actually operational. Um, Many of our restaurants have got outdoor seating. Thankfully, even earlier, we had designed it such a way that there was a lot of outdoor seating, be it Cyber Hub, be it a promenade, you will see that there is a lot of outdoor seating. So for us, I believe, and I really take your word for it if you say that within a month there'll be a bounce back. But I do think that this time it can stretch more than a month for people to get that confidence and bouncing back, purely because they're all dealing with trauma at this point. But if I look beyond it, what do I see? I see that the customers actually, once the vaccination drive really takes off, by September, I believe that we're going to be seeing a phenomenal growth in the F&B space and in the overall retail space. We saw a lot of pent-up demand, and I think there will be a resurgence of that in a rather huge curve upwards, is what I see. As far as trends are concerned, my belief is that smaller restaurants would be the way to go. We had started seeing this and we started creating it at Avenue with the Commons. You see most restaurants over there where 1,500 square feet of space, 1,200 square feet of space, tight restaurants with, very, very cozy seating. That trend will continue. I don't, because people will want range, people will want to come to an area which they feel very few places are they're going to feel safe. So when they do, they want range and variety, and they will also be tired of eating, shall I say, standard fare. They will want Vineet's Fio Pop, the lovely cuisine that he throws. Bombay Brasserie is another one. So I do believe that there will be a range of food offerings which would be owner operated, great cuisines which will cater to a certain niche audience. That will be the way forward. But post the pandemic, during the pandemic era, with the next, let's define the pandemic era over the next 6 months, people will prefer standard fare. People will prefer, branded. Beyond that, the trend will continue for smaller cuisines, which will be unique, which will be owner operated, and the operators will find it more profitable if it is smaller, tighter operations. Tech based, yes, people will look at both deliveries, curbside checkouts, all that will remain for quite a while. But outdoor events with a lot of F&B, which is what we do a lot at Avenue or at Promenade, will be a very popular way during season. Those are the trends that I largely see. Beyond that, I also feel that the resilience of the Indian entrepreneurs as well as consumers are here to stay. They have always been resilient, especially the Delhi NCR. I have seen resilience there in the audience or in the entrepreneur. So I feel that post the trauma, post the pandemic era, one would look at very different kind of food offerings that would come to us. New learnings, like there could be vegan restaurants that would be the order of the day, restaurants which are high on sustainability, restaurants which are looking at an empathy as a concept, and as inclusivity as a concept will find a lot of profits.
going their way.
Thank you. Thanks, Pushpa. Lots of great insights, new trends, new things coming through. Clearly, you could see health is wellness is going to take center stage at least for the next couple of years till, and maybe that's an ongoing trend anyway globally. Shikha, I'm going to try one more time. Are you able to hear me and are you able to connect?
Yes,
So
I
please carry
actually.
on. Just talk a bit about how you are seeing the
Okay.
comeback journey for your
Right.
businesses and where do you see yourself in the next 6 months to 12 months. I mean, we can't take
Great.
a longer term view anymore, but
I don't even know what the others have spoken, but I'd like to share my experience and introduce myself. Can you hear me? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm Shikha, and I'm the culinary director for Charcoal Concepts, the Indian food platform for K Hospitality. I've been working with the group for the last 24 years. And our flagship brands are Copper Chimney, Bombay Brasserie, Pankha House in India. And overseas, we have Copper Chimney, Bombay Burrow, Tamarind Tiger, and Gully Kitchen. So just to give you a little overview of what we've done is our flagship brands are positioned in a niche market between fine dine and casual dine. So with the onset of the pandemic, for our customers' convenience, we swiftly moved into the off-premise dining space. We are largely in the on-premise dining space. So keeping our customer preferences and all our all-time favorites, we have a lot of loyalty base, for Copper Chimney and Bombay Brasserie. We created a compact delivery-centric menu. Now that we cater to a large audience and various age groups, we realized that it was very, very important for us to have a unique take to our menu and model. And working on that, we created preferences for looking at all the preferences for our customers. We created meal options that have really taken off beautifully. We have the solo meals for singles. We have the Copper Chimney family meals, the kebab platters and the curries and everything in the family meal. We have worked on biryani packs, which are convenient for delivery, and so forth. So giving delivery, since the dine-in was not really happening, we did focus on the delivery. Looking at the delivery piece, we also realized that we needed a lot more innovation. We needed food that could travel well. And our brand Bombay Brasserie, since the dine-in offers a complete, selection of eclectic food from all over the country, we created gourmet meal boxes, which had a lot of food in it for a single person, but a large variety. Similarly, we worked on family feast menus where people could host, have little dinners at home, and we were catering up to 8 people in the delivery format. Now, besides this, the team keeps innovating on various products, and our key piece is that the food should travel well. So we also have LTOs, limited time offerings. We do seasonal menus, and we've also got the iftari box running currently. So with this whole delivery space where we are in right now, and we've taken off pretty well in it, we've extended our delivery services to our new cloud kitchens for Bombay Brasserie as well as Copper Chimney. And with this, we can reach a larger customer base. So that's what I feel is that yes, it has been okay for us. We are pretty well positioned in the delivery space, though we are largely in the dine-in formats. And going forward, I think for brands like our flagship brands and other dine-in formats, a hybrid model, a blended model where we have a physical location along with a delivery focus will work well. So that's what I mean. I can quickly just kind of cover up on what we have done.
That's amazing, yeah. And honestly, I know that delivery cannot make up for lost sales for you guys because you're basically providing awesome you provide fantastic service, ambiance, everything, right? But on the other hand, great
Yes.
adaptation by all of you to make this work. But while Mr. Tyagi is still trying to log on, what are some of the innovation you guys are doing with your business? What are some of the innovative models you are trying to do to reach to consumers? Because this could be another 6 months before people really feel comfortable coming in to dine at the restaurant, right? Hopefully, it's not that long, but that could be the worst case scenario.
Well, the malls have curbside pickup. What I was about to suggest to the malls is the food on the go to get positioned along with the curbside could be a great idea forward. Uh, for the people who are a little conservative about stepping into the indoor spaces. Yes, everything is going to be focused on the outdoors, I feel, for some time at least. But yeah, right.
Yeah, but getting into the summer hot months, outdoor
Very,
will become
very
also a
difficult.
challenge.
Absolutely,
How do you make that work?
absolutely a very challenging concept. But yes, it did strike my mind. Uh, right now, I think compacting the menu is the way forward, I feel. Uh, so as to bring the entire focus on quality and sourcing. And that's where we are putting our focus, and also try and focus more around the vegetarian and vegan stuff, uh, because I think that is definitely the requirement of the day. Uh, also by concising the menu, you tend to build up a very strong brand recognition uh, with the special stuff that you get noticed for. Uh, so relevant to today's time, the menus have to get more conscious about the healthy elements, the immunity angle, the vegan angle, and I think the elimination of unnecessary wastages uh, is extremely important to bring that culture, because somehow the line cooks tends to have the tendency to use a day old stuff and not be wasteful, and get conscious around food cost. So compacting the menu is definitely the internal thought, as well as the announcement of the brand in times to come. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Vineet. That really makes sense. And I think you've seen that across every sector. Even in FMCG, companies have really shortened the range, focusing on core, because manufacturing the whole range just doesn't make sense from an ingredients and supply chain perspective. And I think from the food business also, this is going to clearly be the mantra. And it's a loss for consumers because we don't get the variety, but at least then you get something, at home, which is easy to order and deliver. Sagar, just last words from you on. I know you guys have done a lot of innovation. You're talking about 5 lakh orders a month delivery versus 1 lakh in pre-COVID. So, any new thoughts around new models, new ways to engage with shoppers and consumers? What are you trying to do from a technology point of view to leverage some of that?
So what we've done is that, people are working more from homes. It's more work happening from home. So we are trying to get into the houses of people. We are just getting into the FMCG space. We are launching instant frozen momos. So we've taken the momo shelf life from 2 days to 9 months. And we've created a new range of frozen instant momos, which can be microwaved. And it's a concept called Momo in a minute. So, if you have to home deliver an order, you still have to wait for 45 minutes. But here, you can just keep it in your deep freezer. And, if you're hungry between meetings, you don't have the time to order, just go out there. So it's more about entering people's homes and giving them that safety and assurance. Our industry is all about health, hygiene, happiness, and the reason that, we customers are banking on us is because we have built in a goodwill and a trust factor over the years, right? So I think, like Pushpa ma'am said, it's going to be these branded chains, these brands that have, built-in responsibility and trust over the years, where the consumer will have more faith on, because, you have surety of hygiene, etc. And at the same time, the customer wants to now be more careful as to what he's eating and from where he's eating. So I think health and hygiene is going to be the predominator for the next few months or maybe years. And I think we all have to up our ante, up our game, and ensure that, we match the customer expectation. Is just going to rise and rise, and that challenge has to be met. So your pace of expansion with your pace of operation has to be a challenge that we all have to combat with, along with this COVID. And I'm sure most of us will start making a plan B or a plan C, because plan A definitely is not working at the moment.
So, Raghav, your last words on where you see the business going. How do you see it moving? And your focus around health and hygiene and happiness, the three things that Sagar talked about.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay. So, this pandemic has given a new way of doing the. So the regular meetings with the franchisees and the brainstorming with them and how it has to be done has given a small hope of opening the new way of doing it actually. And as you rightly said, even our menu, we got the experience say around 60 to 70 plus flavors, which we have reduced it to 20 to 30 flavors actually. And also we have been innovating in sense of giving the customer the privilege of the discountings, and even like try to give them the more flavors, more varieties of the offers and discounts and everything. And I think slowly we are gripping up with this kind of a onlining kind of a thing. So, but if you compare with the pandemic of phase one and the phase two, yes, we are doing a bit good. But nevertheless, so there is a challenge going ahead. So let's see how we can overcome it in coming days. Actually,
Yeah. Just now I can last word on health hygiene going forward.
The storage and the cold chain, they have to get stronger in India because what we've realized with this crisis is that the first thing that gets affected is the chain of supplies, and the government does want to centralize abattoirs, mandis, but what they don't realize is that in the cosmopolitan towns, the food finds it more difficult to reach people because the systems have not been laid out. And there is drier vegetable and fruits that is available off the shelf at this moment than it ever is in normal times. So I feel the way forward is definitely about the chain formatting getting better, the supply chain formatting getting better, and of course the storage procedures and the technicalities to store things have to get better. The SOPs have to get very strong. Individual packed products with sous and date marked, temperature marked, individual product is definitely the way forward, because the business is going to be relatively unpredictable. So as to be able, it can match up with the commercial sense of the business. Yes.
Thanks, Vineet. Shikha, are you back to say something, or should we just?
And of course, there is going to be zero tolerance on sick on duty. Anybody who has slight symptom will be off duty, and I see that as a concept in times to come.
Thanks, Vineet. Thank you so much, panelists. Sorry it was a bit disrupted. Raghav, Shikha, Vineet, Sagar, thanks so much for your time. Sorry, Kabir and others, Mr. Tyagi, you couldn't join. But great insights, tough times ahead. But let's hope you guys bounce back, because we all depend on you for all our fun and entertainment. We can't wait to get good food in our homes and also visit your restaurant. So thank you so much.